Adobe added Google's Gemini 3 with Nano Banana Pro into Generative Fill. And here's where it gets interesting. You take any photo composition, hit Generative Fill, switch the model to Gemini 3, and just type in an art style. It transforms your entire image into that style while keeping just about all of the original composition. And you type in Van Gogh, and it looks like an oil painting. You type in vaporwave or watercolor, and it's just like the amount of detail that it looks like it's carrying over. It looks like it is having some issues with logos, things like that. But like the logo on the shirt got changed, but the logo on the GR stayed the same. This is absolutely amazing. On the vaporwave style, it literally acted like these lights are actual lights fixed to the side of this lift, and they're reflecting into the paint of the car. So here's what I want to test. What if I create a full composition from scratch, a complete poster's design where I make all the creative decisions, and then I use Google's Gemini as basically a final style filter on top of that? Is that still cheating? Or is it just using a tool in Photoshop? Because here's the thing. We already have tons of tools and shortcuts in Photoshop. I can add textures I didn't create. I can use adjustment layers to completely change colors. I can composite images together that were never in the same place in reality. Some people might call that cheating too, but we just call it Photoshop. So where's the line? I don't know yet, but let's find out. So the backstory here is that we're going to use the Adro BRZ as the hero car in our story. You also saw me pull in a photo of myself. I took that photo in my backyard with the auto timer on my phone. My dog happened to jump into the photo, which, every good anime needs an animal sidekick. So I'm just going to go with it. So we got the car, we got myself and the dog. The layout is going to be reminiscent of like an Akira style poster. So the kind of top down, very linear layout where we've got the car as the main character. You've got the adjacent character in there. And that's the layout that I want to go with. And I'm taking my time here because I want to change the details in this photo. I want to change the color of the car. If you want to see ways that you can do that on your own compositions, I have tons of videos that you can watch about changing the car color and adding different wheels. But I want to make this composition my own, this composite photo. I want to make it unique so that we can actually test out the AI and see how much it interprets, how much it changes, if anything, and see if this is actually like a viable kind of filter overlay that you can use on a piece. I'm also interested, drop a comment below. Would you commission a style like this? Like if you sent a bunch of photos to an artist and you're like, hey, can you do an anime style? I still feel like this is kind of cheating. Unless maybe the artist, after applying the AI filter, went in and did further refinement and made sure that there were no AI anomalies. In my head, maybe that's the sign. I'm trying to justify too many components that the artist would have to touch. Okay, so this is interesting. It definitely changed things. The style is different. It's what I asked for. It's got that anime poster look that I wanted. But let's talk about what actually happened here. The composition I created is still intact. The layout decisions I made, the hierarchy, the basic structure, all of this is still there. The AI didn't move anything. All the titles I created, I kept them on a separate layer, so I have complete control over that. It didn't rearrange the main elements. It didn't make the compositional choices for me, but it did change some of the details. Some of the smaller elements look a little bit different, as I would expect. This is going from a photo to a drawing, an anime art style. The textures are interpreted. If you zoom in, certain things aren't exactly what I put there. They're the AI's version of what I put there. So did I design this? I mean, I made all the big creative decisions. I did the conceptual work, the layout, the composition. The AI just executed a style on top of that framework. But here's where I'm conflicted. If someone looked at this and loved the aesthetic, is it fair for me to take credit for that aesthetic when the AI generated it? What specific film grain, those particular color shifts, that texture quality, I didn't manually create those. I just described what I wanted. But maybe it's like using a Photoshop action or applying a LUT to a video. Those are just shortcuts too. Someone else created those, and then you as the artist apply that to your work. We generally accept that as a normal workflow. Or maybe it's like using stock photography. I mean, I didn't take the photo of this BRZ, but I'm incorporating someone else's creative work into a broader composition. But we don't usually call that cheating as long as you have the license and you give credit to the people that created the original Adro. But there's something that feels different about doing it with AI. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's because it just feels too easy. But then a lot of things in Photoshop feel really easy. Like I didn't have to learn the technical skills to execute this style. I just had to be able to describe it. But maybe even being able to describe it is a skill in and of itself. So maybe there's a different angle to this. What if I had used this for client mockups, showing different style directions quickly without spending hours or days executing each one on my own? That actually seems pretty legit. I'm using the AI to communicate ideas faster, not to replace the creative thinking or to replace a creative person. Ultimately, you could give that project to an anime artist who then can create specific artwork. Or what about using it for personal projects where the experimentation is just part of the process? We're trying 15 different styles to see what works is actually valuable, even if I didn't manually paint each one by hand. On the other hand, if I had just run a random photo through this and called myself an artist, yeah, that feels wrong. There's no creative decision making there. I'm just pressing a button, taking credit for what the AI generates. That feels inherently wrong to me. So maybe it comes down to the intent and transparency. If you're using AI as a tool in a larger creative process that you're driving as the graphic designer, and you're honest about that, is that okay? What if you're trying to pass it off as a manual artistic skill that you don't have? That's where that crosses the line for me. But what do you guys think in the comments? What do you as designers and people that love art think about this? I don't think I even have a definitive answer here. And honestly, I'm not sure anyone does yet. We're figuring all this out in real time. What I do know is this: the technology exists now. It's in Photoshop. People are going to use this. And I think the more interesting conversation isn't, is this cheating, yes or no? It's how do we use this thoughtfully and honestly?